Thank you for your help.
Of course. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining our program today, Selling Art Online. Grace Underfinger of Crimson Fox Design is a printmaker and graphic designer located in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Her prints have been exhibited statewide in Arkansas and Colorado and published in Bracket and Death Ray Volume 1 zine. Grace also holds community screen printing workshops across Northwest Arkansas at locations such as Fayetteville Public Library, Wingate Studio and Design Center, the Walton Arts Center, the Fruitcake Market, and more. In her free time, she enjoys taking long bike rides down the Greenway and picking flowers for her dog, Bee. Same. In today's program, Grace will share her knowledge about selling your art online, including licensing, financials, marketing, and avoiding scams. And before you leave today, please consider filling out a program evaluation at the back. It helps us bring in more speakers like Grace and develop similar programs. So thank you. Enjoy your program today.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my shoe's untied. Uno momento. All right. All right. How are you guys today?
Good.
Good? Feeling good? Nice rain?
Great.
Yeah. Okay. What items are you guys thinking about selling? You're here. Do you have any ideas? Art. What type of art?
Acrylic paintings, and then I've been working on candles.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, make stuff out of wood.
Yeah.
Shop yourself.
All right. Okay. We've got acrylic paintings and candles and wood.
Embroidered emblem and prints.
Ooh. Embroidered emblem prints?
Embroidered emblems and prints.
Okay. Embroidered emblems and prints. Okay. Collage art. All right. Thank you. I'm going to write these down so I can keep these in mind, so I can tailor my presentation to you. Okay. Okay. We're going to go through a lot of information today, so make sure you've got pen and paper. There's not going to be a lot of images. So let's get into it. Sound good? All right. Feel free to raise your hand and stop me if you have any questions, if I'm going too fast, and for clarification. All right. We're going to go through platforms and starting Etsy, DBAs, LLCs, licenses and taxes, payment methods, scams, commissions, and marketing and advertising. We're going to start with platforms and websites. There's a lot of options out there, but I kind of condensed it into the most popular. We've got Etsy, we have Shopify, Squarespace, and Wix, and Square. Etsy is cheap-ish. They have a startup fee of $30, which did not used to be the case. And on all of your listings, it has fees. Every time somebody buys something, it gives you a fee, and it just, we'll talk more about that here in a second. All right, when picking an online platform, think about your client base and your own habits and preferences to platforms as a consumer. Not everyone trusts an independent artist's website, especially as an emerging artist. So what that means is think about your artist avatar, or not your customer avatar. Customer avatar is, pretend that person is your customer. What is their habits? What do they do day to day? What are they looking for in your art? What type of platforms are they going to go to? Most people are going to go to places like Etsy because it's been well established for a long time. And it has its own marketing. And yeah. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Kind of imagine that you're looking to buy something for somebody for Christmas. Like you're looking to buy something for your mom. 9 chances out of 10, most people are going to go to either Amazon, or if they're looking for something handmade, they're going to go to Etsy. Now, if I'm looking for something really specific, it's going to be really hard to find somebody's artist website for things like that, unless you find them through social media and you've got that tabbed. But see, this is where Etsy comes in handy, is because there is a lot of artists that you can find all at once, instead of trying to individually seek out individual people. So, here's what I recommend for platforms. If you're going to do in-person events, so in-person events like vendor fairs or the Maker Faire, consider Square. It's a great option, and yeah. Sorry, I blink out here and there. But, okay, so Square, you load everything up in Square, you load up your listings, and you bring your phone with you, and you can buy this little dongle that can take cards and card payments. So what is really great about that is, you get to take your card payments, and then you also have all your items already listed in Square, which then, if you add some extra information, you can now make that an online storefront. So, yeah. So there's a lot less work that you have to do, and I believe Square is free to start. They do have transaction fees, but it's what I use, and it's never been anything that I'm like, ooh, ouch, It's never been anything that's concerning, or it's like, okay, yeah, I made that much. Yeah, you can take that. You helped me. You did all of this card payments. Yes, please. Take my money. It's never been a whole lot, but, all right, let's see. I recommend starting an Etsy and a Square first. Square's great for taking in-person payments, yada, 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 and it's easy to load your items online. So I do recommend doing an Etsy on top of everything. Maybe start Square first if you're planning on doing in-person events coming up sooner than you are trying to do online. And it's great to have an Etsy or a platform when you're doing in-person events to kind of, oh, hey, you missed this item that I listed that I was going to sell today. You missed it? I'll have it on my website next week when I make more. Or I have a restock coming in a month. So it's a great place to point people when they can't make it to your next event. Okay. Square Reader, it's only $10, and you can hook it up to your phone at your charging spot, or you can, if you have like a headphone jack, they also have a headphone jack reader. So you can take a Square with you. I always take a Square with me in case I forget to bring cash or something happens and I can't use Venmo, but always take a Square. And then make sure you have a Venmo app or a Cash app. I think most people tend to prefer Venmo in case they don't have their card on them, or your card reader goes down, and or they don't have cash but they still want to pay you. It's a great option. And then bring cash. I usually bring about $50. So I make sure I have some quarters. Sometimes I have some nickels and dimes, but it's kind of just whatever's in my pocket because people don't generally bring change or want change. At least like 10 ones, a couple 5s, a couple 10s, maybe a 20. So, any questions? Everything sounding good? Does that sound easy enough? All right. Here is a screenshot of what Square looks like. You can load a lot of it onto your phone, and then when you want to bring things like to an online storefront, just log into your computer on Square. Most everything you can do on your phone, but when you want to add shipping and whatnot, go onto your computer, and it'll have all these extra doodads. So apparently they've got banking. I don't know whether that's viable or not, but it might be worth looking into. You can also take payments and send invoices. So say somebody comes up to you at an event and says, wow, I really like this piece of art that you made, this acrylic painting. And I'd love to have one that's 5 foot wide with a picture of a horse on it. You could say, okay, cool. I'm going to send you an invoice. Or, oh, I want to pay for that right now. Take a payment. Easy enough. Yeah. And then the report section is really helpful when it comes to doing sales tax, and we'll talk a little bit more about sales tax here in a bit. Square will automatically kind of calculate that for you so you don't have to do a lot of math when you do events. It's nice to not have to worry about that. Here's another screenshot of what my Square looks like for, I haven't set any of these to an online storefront. It's just, this is what I take with me to events. And so it creates these buttons that I can just easily, somebody brings up a print and I have my tablet with me and I just push a button that looks like the piece of art that I have, and it'll automatically go, oh, that's $7. Here you go. And it'll take sales tax, so you don't have to worry about that. Okie dokie. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to talk about Etsy. And I'm going to walk you through how to start an Etsy account if you haven't already. Raise your hand if you've already started an Etsy. Nice. All right. You've already got this. Okay, so 9 chances out of 10 you've got an Etsy account because you've ordered cute stuff for your pet or your dog. So go ahead and go to your little avatar picture that I don't have. Go all the way down to Sell on Etsy. And then it'll take you to, hey, make your shop uniquely yours. Tell us a bit about yourself. It's going to have all that blah, 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 blah. It'll say, open your shop, and it's a one-time $29 setup fee, which I don't remember because I set mine up in 2018, but it does cost money now. Okay, then it'll take you into shop preferences. You just pick your language. This maybe took 20 minutes, if that, to set up your Etsy account. Then you can name your shop, and there's no spaces, which is kind of dumb, but that's how it is. And it'll let you know whether your username is available or not. And you put in your bank information so it can charge you. And it'll ask you whether you're an individual or a sole proprietorship or an incorporated business, and I'll talk about that here in a bit. I believe up next. And then it'll have you do identity verification. I made a goofy face. Okay. And then it comes to this section where it says, upgrade now to Etsy Plus, and this is where they try to get you. I wouldn't do that. Free shop setup. Cool, you already do that. 15 listing credits. Okay. It's like $20, or not $20, it's 20 cents to list, and then every time somebody buys one, it charges you another 20 cents and then some extra. They will really get you with those fees. So mark up accordingly. Okay, and then credits for Etsy ads, $5. Woo, that doesn't get you anywhere at all. And I'll talk a little bit about ads, because I don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're making like a ton of money, like, I don't know, an extra $2,000 a month, maybe consider ads. Until then, it's gambling. Okay. So I clicked, I don't want this exclusive offer, because you're trying to trap me into something. And then this is what your shop manager page will look like. Yeah. And then setting up an Etsy listing, you just need to get 3 to 4 photos, write a description, take measurements and wait for shipping, and then think about your keywords. So if you're selling a candle, take some really good photos and put it up there. Take your measurements and your weights for shipping. Add in a little extra padding for your shipping supplies. There are Etsy food calculators out there that'll tell you about how much you'll get back after fees. So keep that in mind when trying to price. And then for keywords, what does your candle look like? Oh, this is a Christmas candle. So put Christmas candle, comma, Christmas, comma, Santa Claus, comma, so that you can kind of get as many. So what there are spiders on the internet. They're like web crawlers, and they look for information in your listings and on your website so that it helps people to directly, when they're searching something, it'll direct them towards your information. So, yes.
Sorry, so does Etsy, do you have to like pack your title with keywords, or does it also look at like your description? I guess like when someone's searching for something, would you wanna go ahead and like make your title like really long and make sure all your keywords are in there, or is it okay to keep it in the description?
That's a great question. I do recommend packing it in there in your title and description. The more the better. The more that it'll help people find you. For your title, I would reserve it for your most important keywords. Funny Christmas candle, and the funny Christmas candle was Santa Claus riding a reindeer, or something like that. So, I don't know that kind of candle can exist, but an example.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, question break.
I actually have a couple more, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I have a question about like, if we wanna avoid Etsy, is it possible to direct people to Square, like to our Square website specifically?
Yeah.
If I have like a link on my socials or something?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And you do not have to do Etsy if you don't want to at all, because there's a lot going on with Etsy. They're kind of corrupt.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
How is that affecting sales? Are people really seeing the boycott kind of affecting people coming to the site?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought so.
I think so. I don't know that answer for sure, but anything helps. And I know that they've been working towards like excluding drop shipping stuff from their website. I know before they were like, yeah, drop ship stuff, come here, we'll sell you on the platform. But I think they're moving away from that because they're seeing all this boycott.
Okay.
But yes, you do not have to do Etsy. I'm just putting this on here because that's a common option.
Well, I think I'm gonna start there just because it's easy, it's got the audience already built in.
Yeah.
And, let's just see how it goes.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I was just wondering how that was affecting traffic through Etsy.
Yeah. It'll be, oh, sorry.
No, I'm done.
Okay. It'll be a little harder for people to find your information just by searching on the internet. But as long as you post it in your socials, you post it, hey, this is where my website is, this is my website where you can buy my stuff, and let people know you're not on Etsy. Somebody might try to copy you and be like, that's not me. Does that answer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I want to start out on
Yeah.
Etsy, but I just didn't know how much the boycott was affecting it.
Yeah. I'd like to say that I know that answer, but I don't.
I don't know if
But-
the average consumer really knows about the boycott.
Yeah.
So they just will search Etsy first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know there is a new boycott effort because of the alligator Alcatraz merch that they
Oh
were
my God.
allowing people to sell on there, so that may be more impacted by the average consumer. That would be something people see more, but.
Yeah.
Because I did a little research and it is down 8.9%.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, and there have been trending down the last 4 years. But the boycott, it's also one of those, the pros, here's your pros, you've got your audience built in.
Yeah.
Here's your con, people are kind of staying away for it right now because of this reason. But Etsy hasn't really come out with a statement saying, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And that's pissing people off, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna try it
Yeah.
out. Just to get my stuff out there to sell it. Because I've done 2 markets and I'm like, this may not be for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of stuff to wax, so I'm just like, this may not be for me.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
In-person markets are heavy and
It's a lot.
true. But yeah, do you.
Yeah.
You do not have to take platform. You don't have to do what I do. Definitely Square is a good option, but
And you recommend Square over, like Shopify and okay, cool.
yeah. Shopify keeps raising their fees.
Okay.
And so they'll get you in and say, oh, start for $10 a month. And you're like, oh, great. I've got this for 3 months. Surely in 3 months I'll be making bank so that I can pay for this. And then they raised it up in like 2022 or 2021 to $40. And then recently last year they moved it up to $50 a month, and that's not realistic for any of us. And then Squarespace and Wix, you can use for, go ahead and use that. I've been considering using Squarespace because that's what my website is on. But I think that's extra money, maybe like $21 extra a month. And they don't have, that Square Reader is really the selling point because you can go to Target and pick that up if one breaks.
That's true, I didn't even realize they sold them at multiple locations, that's awesome.
Yeah, so think about your own usability, and if something goes sideways, what is best for you to help.
And what is Wix?
Wix is it used to be a free website builder. Yeah, it's just
So
a
those are
website.
website builders.
Yeah, yeah. Website builders that also have shop features, but sometimes they're a bit limited in what they can sell on their shop and how that works. And shipping, they have their own shipping process, and yeah. Ooh, okay. Let me see. Is there anything else that I missed? Yeah. Okay. I don't recommend. Okay. So this little guy, that's your Square Reader. We've seen those. You don't need to buy the big fancy one at all, unless your charging port does not work, like me. But do not sink a bunch of money into upgrading things. Try to go cheap for now. Go with the lesser option until you build up your income to be able to afford, a big fancy Square Reader that's got the touch screen and you don't need that. You don't need that. Okay. And there, if you need any extra help on starting Square or Etsy listings, if you choose to use Etsy, there are videos online, and Square's pretty simple to go ahead and put those online.
I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
There's some kind of acronym for learning how to write keywords, you know what that is?
SEO,
SEO, thank you.
search engine optimization. Great question. And there's a plethora of information on SEO, and essentially it's just your keywords of what people will be searching, and like what weird keywords that are niche can you fit in there, as many.
Yes, for
Yeah, exactly.
the
Father's Day, and yeah. And so that's kind of the same thing for, you see why people put hashtags in their Instagram posts? It does the same thing. Except some places it's a hashtag, some places it's a comma, some places it's just a bunch of words. Yay. Okay, DBAs and LLCs. I'm a bit biased here. Okay, do not hire anyone or pay a private company to file your DBA or LLC. It's predatory. And they will charge you a ton for simple paperwork that you can do for cheap and really doesn't take that much time. Yay. Unfortunately, I fell into that. I have filed both a DBA and an LLC. DBA in Illinois and LLC in Arkansas. And I did the DBA myself, and then I did the LLC in Arkansas through another provider, which is incredibly predatory. And I went into it, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be predatory, but they keep raising the price and I can't really get out of it. So don't do that. And I'll talk about the difference between a DBA and an LLC. Okay. In general, you don't need a business license if you sell under $600. Any more than that, and then you'll want to file for a DBA. Up until then, it's considered hobby income. And,
$600?
yep.
Is that a year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So most people don't have DBAs, and that's okay. If you're doing events, and you don't sell $600 in a year, like, you don't need to file that. Now that I have a DBA, I do file all of it, or not a DBA, I have an LLC. But if you have a DBA or file, go ahead and file it. Does that make sense? Okay. Cool. DBAs are doing business as. They're the simplest to acquire, they're the most budget friendly, they're easier to maintain. I'm a bit biased on this. Okay. Least stressful to maintain, but there are no legal protections. That is, everything is attached to your name. So if somebody tries to sue your business, they're also suing you. So you can, if you're doing something shisty, probably the wrong word, but if you're doing something scammy, or not that I think that you guys will, and somebody sues your business, they can potentially, or you file for bankruptcy, like they can take away your house, they can take away your car.
Well, I have a good example with candles.
Yeah?
If a candle burns down someone's house,
Mm-hmm.
they can come after me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm really needing to get probably an LLC.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Yeah.
And I'm not doing anything shiesty. And
Yeah.
a candle could burn someone's house down, which is freaking me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm even thinking about like getting into soap instead of candles because that's a liability I don't really want to have.
Mm-hmm.
But I love them.
That's a good point. You might also want to look into business insurance as well. Yeah, I think you can do business insurance if you don't want to do, either way, you'll probably want business insurance, but if you don't go the LLC route, at least get insurance.
Okay.
Yeah. And, talk to your insurance representative and tell them about the situation. Be like, hey, I'm selling candles, and, if it burns down somebody's house, do you cover that?
Right. Or I'm making them at my house. How does that
Mhm.
affect my policy?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Ooh, yeah, it's a lot to it.
Mm-hmm. Yup. There's a lot, and we're gonna keep going. There's still more. Okay. Sorry. Okay. But yeah. I don't cover business insurance. That is something to talk with your individual provider about, and whether that's right for you or not. Chances are, if you talk to your provider about it, they'll try and get you to do that. But if you're selling prints, you can't, you don't need that.
Yeah.
If you're doing something dangerous, you might want that. Or if you're renting space.
Yes.
I found that I had to have business insurance if I rented a space. So, okay. LLCs, limited liability companies. They have legal protections. So your business is separated from your name in case you get sued, or, the business gets sued. It opens more capital revenues. So if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur and, try to go to space or, make something incredibly innovative, you'll want an LLC so that people can invest into your company. And, a lot of grants are LLC only. So, yeah. So, you can go to the spiffy events and things like that. Now, I went to we've got the Entrepreneurship Hub downtown, down the road, and they have, I don't know if it's just for like university alumni, but I think it is also for city residents. If you have an LLC, you can apply for a space in the Startup Village, which is on Dixon. And you can get that, I know. It's nice. It's in a basement, but but it's right on Dixon. And you can also, I would like park there if I didn't want to pay for parking. Because I'm like, oh, I'm a startup member. You can't tell me. So if I wasn't going there for that and I had the membership there, I would just park in the parking lot. Hot tip. But, all right, where was I going with that? So anyways, so the Entrepreneurship Hub, they have a lot of resources for residents and for university alumni, university students, and you can talk to people about starting up your business. And there are mentors there. So if you need extra help, you can talk to them. And then they also have a couple of retired accountants on staff. They won't do the accounting for you, but they can consult with you and things like that. And I believe it's free. If you're a university alumni, it is free, but it might be like a small fee if you are a city resident.
And what is this again? I'm sorry.
The Brewer Entrepreneurship Hub, and it's on Center Street. Yeah, and you can Google UARC Entrepreneurship, and it'll come up. Yeah, and then there's also a couple of other startup places. I believe that there is business help services at the library. I haven't looked into that yet, but I believe librarians can help you file for like a DBA. Very highly educated individuals. They know so much. Okay, so it opens more capital revenues, and there are tax deductions that come from that, which is nice, but if you're, you might really only see the benefits of the tax deductions if you're making over $20,000. If not, you'll probably get just about the same tax deductions as a DBA. Okay. LLCs are difficult and costly to maintain. I will tell you that. And I only really recommend that if you make like $100,000. That is personal. It is frankly not worth it for me. And that's not me complaining. I'm just telling you, like, this thing is expensive. It was, especially if you do it with a second-hand provider. I think I filed with Zen Business, and it's about $400 a year, which is a big ouchie in the middle of the year. Big ouchie, and then let's see, there's always some new form that I have to fill out, and then it's like $100 to file it. But that's even outside of Zen Business. Outside of that provider, it's like $100 that I have to pay in franchise tax every year, and then on top of that, I have to do sales tax and then there's something else, and they're like, hey, we just did this new thing, and you have to pay us a bunch of money, and it's like, oh, great, I didn't know about that. Yeah, and then you sit there and you're like, I think this is a scam, and then they send you a nasty letter, and you're like, oh, okay, that was not a scam. So, and it usually comes from like the state or some random weird department from the state that you've never heard of. And that sounds an awful lot like I'm getting scammed, but it do be like that.
One of my friends also had to pay like $300 just to dissolve her LLC.
Yes.
So
Really?
it's expensive even to close it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is kind of where I'm in this limbo, because I want to go back to a DBA, but it's like,
How much money are you willing to pour into?
exactly. I already pay so much for it to stay each year, and then pay even more money for it to go away, but then I don't have to worry about it. But it's always, there's a lot of friction, and it's annoying. And I attended a seminar at the Brewer Hub once, and the speaker basically said that she dissolved her LLC too in favor of a DBA because it's just easier and less stress. And I don't know about you, but if you've got like taxes to worry about, you will still have to worry about taxes no matter what. But taxes and all these other legal things, that's going to stress you to your core, and you're going to be so stuck in this executive function that you're not going to do anything. You'll want to work on your art, but you're so stressed that you can't get out of that rut, and you're just trapped in this limbo. Does that make sense? I'm complaining, but it do be like that. Okay. Any questions before I move on? Okay. All right. Steps to setting up a DBA. You might want to take a picture of this. And thankfully, there's a lot of information online, especially from the State Department, on how to set up a DBA. And I think when I did it, it was only like 20 some odd minutes. But there's a couple other things that you have to do. You have to go to the IRS and do that and wait for them to get back to you. And then it's another like 5-10 minutes, and then you're done. It's really short, but you gotta wait a couple days. Okay. We ready? Okay. Go to your Secretary of State website and look at their list that says how to do it. And then file for an EIN from the IRS. It's easy and free. Do not click on any of the other websites that say, ooh, we'll file for your EIN for you, because they'll charge you money for something that you can do yourself in the same amount of time. Okay, and what an EIN is, it's essentially kind of like a social security number for your business. And it's an employer identification number, and it allows you to hire employees if you so wanted to. You don't have to, but that's what you gotta do. Yeah, and it's really helpful so that you don't have to keep putting in your social security number for events and all these other different things, and on all the websites and things like that. So you just hand them your EIN and your social is safe. Now, if you don't do a DBA and you just present as yourself, you will have to put in your social security number. All right, so file for an EIN, and then go back to the Secretary of State website, the Arkansas Secretary of State, and file. Go through all the paperwork and whatnot. It should not be too much. And it should be free to file. If not, maybe $20. Not much at all. Okay. So after you do that, and you might have to wait a couple days to get the paperwork for them to be able to continue, because you get a certificate, and you get a letter ID, and you get like some other numbers. Yeah, keep those in a binder at home. Keep all this paperwork in a binder at home. And then you'll go to the Arkansas Taxpayer Access Point, ATAP. And it sounds weird, but that's where you pay your sales tax. And I'll show you a screenshot here in a minute of that website. So you'll file with them, and here's where you will get your sales tax license. And you really only need to worry about your sales tax license unless you're going to sell alcohol or you're operating heavy equipment that you're renting out to people. So
You need a sales tax license if you sell over $600.
yes. Yep. Under that, you're fine.
Okay, so this is something I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. If you plan on making more than $600, yeah.
I mean, I've made a little bit over that, but I have made
Yeah.
$600 this
Yeah.
year. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if you've made a little bit over that, it's okay. Your first year, a lot of the times, they'll be pretty lenient of like, oh, okay, now you know. Now you know to file for all these things, and not really going to get penalized unless you are doing tax fraud.
What
Yeah, is this before or after expenditures? Just curious.
I'd say after expenditures.
Helps.
Yeah.
Oh, that helps a lot, because I have spent a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
starting this, and I haven't made much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really noticed a difference between, so there's DBA and then going as yourself, and it's the same thing. Except filing a DBA is if you want to have a separate business name outside of yourself, so Crimson Fox, or if I just want to go by my name, that's fine. If you make a bunch of money, you're gonna have to file for a DBA anyways, so you can get the EIN and you can do all the sales tax and things like that. I'm sure that didn't make sense, but.
It kind of did, because I've been kind of reading through this
Mhm.
and figuring out what I need, but I
Yeah.
didn't know the $600.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of it is a gray area too, so you can kind of maneuver a little. Don't do that, but you can maneuver.
Okay.
It's a gray area. Yeah, okay. So once you filed your Arkansas Taxpayer Access Point sales tax license, file with your city that you operate in. So we've got City of Fayetteville, apply for a business license, so that this is all of this is pretty much so that the state and the city know that you're a business, this is what you're doing, you're not doing anything weird, you're not doing anything concerning. And so that they can make sure that they get taxes collected from you, so to make the city and the county and the state better. So, okay. After you filed with the city or somewhere along in here, you'll definitely want your EIN before you open a separate bank account. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. So, that's a whole thing. But it's okay. It's not bad. All right, here's some screenshots. Here's a screenshot from the Arkansas Secretary of State website. And it has all the steps that you need to follow. So if you somehow lose all the information from the presentation on this, you can find it on the Secretary of State website. Okay. So, and that's pretty much everything that I already told you up until, I think, EIN and Arkansas Taxpayer Access Point and City. So, it just kind of gives you an overview of what to expect when you're filing. Okay, so file an EIN with the IRS. Go to irs.gov. There are a bunch of scammy other websites. Go to the IRS. It's very scary, you might think, but it's fine. So here's a screenshot. It just says, get an employer identification number. Yeah, just fill out whatever forms are on there. Easy peasy. Okay, here's the Arkansas Taxpayer Access Point. This is where you'll be paying your quarterly taxes, sales taxes. So, yeah, even if you don't make money in a quarter, put 0. You still have to file it anyways. Otherwise, they will come after you. They will call you. They will send you letters. They will send you emails. But so if you don't make anything, just hit 0. File. I didn't make anything. That's okay. Yeah. So you'll want to do this every quarter, and they have their own dates. You can get your sales tax information from Square, and then if you got payments elsewhere, you'll have to do some math and figure that out. Pay quarterly, and then if you go on for long enough, maybe about 2 years, and you're not making a whole lot every quarter, they will say, hey, you can do yearly now. Don't do that until they tell you that you can do yearly now. And that's in December. So, which is nice, because I don't like to have to worry about doing quarterly. So, businesses that require a Fayetteville business license. This is on Fayetteville website, City of Fayetteville website. And essentially it says if you're a corporation, an LLC, a sole proprietor, which sole proprietor is a DBA, or if you're presenting as yourself and you didn't file all the other paperwork. Any type of business that has a federal or state license, any business that should have a sales tax use or permit, so that's you. Landlords, businesses that sell Arkansas Scholarship Lottery tickets and host charity bingo events, religious institutions that require a state and federal license, home-based businesses that require a license. So if you have sales tax and you're a home-based business, you still need to have a license with the City of Fayetteville. You don't have to if you're under the age of 18, which is kind of cool. Or if you're a religious institution that doesn't generate any income, you're a government entity, or you're a landlord with 2 or less residential units. So, yay! Okay, so here's a couple screenshots so I went and clicked on some of the things. It says, oh, hey, I don't have my business in Fayetteville, so I didn't go through this process. But here's probably what you're gonna wanna click for license options. In Illinois, they didn't give me an option, it was just file for a business license. But it's kinda cool that Fayetteville has all these different options. They have like a list of maybe 50 different options. Most of them are for like alcohol or machinery. Don't worry about that. You're gonna want a home-based online goods and sales or home-based miscellaneous. And essentially this is just so that they have kind of an idea of what you're doing. Oh, and yes, you will want to renew your business license with the City of Fayetteville every October. Question break. No? Was that overwhelming? No? Okay. Taxes. Yay. Yay. Here's another screenshot of the Arkansas Taxpayer Access Point. I didn't take a screenshot of mine because that's private information. But it looks daunting. But there's a lot of questions and places to put money, figures, but really if you're just selling sales tax stuff, there's one box that you'll complete. And then maybe there's like further on down the line, it'll ask you what counties did you sell in. Oh, I sold this much in Washington, and oh, I sold this much in Benton. Not bad. Okay, yep, quarterly you'll file. After a few years, they'll grant you the ability to do it yearly. Keep your personal and business bank accounts separate. Keep a spreadsheet of your income and your expenses. Keep it updated for when annual tax season comes and you do your regular taxes. And file with your regular income tax. So you will be doing quarterly taxes and income tax. Okay, in short, you might want to take a photo of that one or write it down. In short, quarterly, yearly with income, and then it's recommended that you have an accountant handle your yearly because they know what deductions to look for and they can sift through the spreadsheet that you sent them and do what is best for you. And I do recommend, if you don't usually have an accountant, go ahead and save up the money for it because the stress of not having to do it is worth it. Or, the lack of stress of not having to do that is worth it. And I think in the past it's been anywhere from like 100 to 170. Not bad at all for not having to worry about that. It's still a chunk of money, but it's an investment. Bank. We're going to talk about banks. Create a new bank account. You can open one at your normal institution or at a business-focused institution. I use Found. I'm going to be a little contradictory here from what I'll be talking about. But so there are your regular personal business accounts, And there are also, like, you can go to Arvest and ask, hey, I want to open up a business account. And you can do that, but usually those types of accounts require you to have a minimum, and they expect you to be making like an obscene amount of money. I don't recommend that. When you're first starting out, just open another personal account. Easy, not bad. They're not gonna know. Doesn't really matter anyways, unless you're making tons and tons of money of like, you know, well over 50K. It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. Just open a personal. Keep it separate from your own. Don't really mix them. Have your own debit card for that. And, you know, keep a spreadsheet of your transactions, what you bought. Maybe take some pictures of receipts. And then, where am I going with that? Yeah. If you use your credit card, you can share your credit card between the accounts like you normally do, but make sure that you write down that transaction in your spreadsheet if you use your credit card. Do not open another credit card just for your business unless you absolutely need to. So, not really necessary unless you are a corporation. Yay. Also, like, creating a normal personal bank account, like, is low pressure. It's easy to do. And it's a low barrier entry, and it doesn't create that sense of anxiety of, I have to meet these minimums, I have to do this, and I have to do that. And it's just another account. It's easier to think about it in different spaces sometimes. Here's a screenshot of the service that I use. Now, I started this when it was free. I think it still is free, and I got grandfathered in. Anyway, so this is an example of a specialty business account. And essentially, why I did Found, you do not have to do Found at all. But, so I don't have to worry about tax tools and things like that. It'll just I just use it to calculate my taxes on top of Square. I don't have it file my taxes because I don't trust that. It'll give you estimates, and then it separates your money into pockets. So let's say you get a $200 transaction. You know, somebody gave you $200. It looks at it and it goes, oh, you got income. I'm going to go ahead and set aside what I think you're going to have to pay in income taxes or sales tax on that. And so that's really nice. It sets it aside. I don't end up taking money out of that. I just pay for my personal. Don't do that. But then I just move the taxes into. I pay it anyways, but it's nice to have like a pocket there that I do not touch unless I absolutely need to. So, and you could create other pockets, which is nice, in the same bank account. So it does automatic expense tracking. So this is also what I use to create my spreadsheets at the end of the year. So that's really helpful. It automatically goes, oh, okay, you went to Blick. What is this? And you can just click a couple things and, oh, okay, it's an expense. So you don't have to manually write all these things in or in a spreadsheet.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did they send you a debit card?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They still should. But they also now have virtual debit cards. Because for some reason I never received mine or it got lost in the mail. I have received one in the past. But, yes, you can have a virtual debit card, and that's really nice for paying online for your subscriptions and hooking your subscriptions up to that so that it comes out of that account and not your personal account. And it automatically tracks it. And it'll also give you, say, hey, you made this much this month, and then your expenses are this much. So it's nice to be able to have these tools to look at. And what I do really also like about Found is because I'm also a contractor. It saves my W-9 and my 1099 payments so that I don't have to really track that. So if Crystal Bridges is like, hey, Grace, we want you to do an event. Can you send us your W-9? I can just go into my little account, re-download my W-9, and send it off. And then sometimes it also has a function that you can export your banking information so that they can automatically put money in your account. So you don't have to worry about a check. I will say that having an account like this, I got it specifically because there's no physical institution, so it's harder for me to take it out and use it for personal things. A lot harder. But it's also kind of a pain if you get a check. If you get a check, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Go ahead and put it in your personal, and then you can route it over to your business. Yeah, and then there's also an invoice function, which is also really nice, so that I don't have to worry about getting a secondary software or subscription to worry about invoicing and taking payments, because it can take Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, things like that, as well as card. So let's say I got a commission to do some graphic design. I can just forward the invoice and to that person, to their Gmail, and it'll give them a notification in 2 weeks that, hey, you didn't pay this, and whatever they pay on there goes directly into your account. All right, any questions? So, in general, don't really use a business from your regular provider. Found is nice. That is my exception to that, but don't really use one from like ArtVest or something like that. Okay. Yay. Does this make sense? Okay. Is this helpful? Okay. Keep going. Scams. There's a lot of scams. There's definitely way more than this list that I've made. Definitely LLC and DBA filing services, as well as IRS and EIN filing services that are not directly from the official state websites. Yeah, so tax filing lookalike sites. They exist. Sometimes it's, if you don't know what you're looking into, you might fall for the wrong one. So definitely cross-reference with the official, like, Secretary of State. Somewhere in there, it'll give you a direct link. So get the direct link and then save it to your bookmark bar. Okay. And then not watermarking your photos or artwork online. You can do that easily by going into Canva and write your name on it in white or black and then lower the opacity so you've got your name plastered right on over your collage or, your embroidery, so that somebody cannot screenshot your photo and then try and resell as you with crummy, a crummy product that's not nearly as good as yours.
Do you have any experience with Glaze for AI?
With
Glaze, it's like a filter.
Glaze? I don't yet. I should. We all should.
I haven't tried it yet, but apparently it kind of scrambles things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely, 100%. And it's kind of wild that we're in the age where we need to worry about AI ripping off our artwork. So even if you're posting on like Instagram, social media, if you can get a glaze or you can put some sort of a weird filter and then your name on top. Name on top will not be enough, but at least if you don't really care, at least put your name on it. If you don't care about your artwork being ripped off by AI, put your name on it. Okay. If you start a Shopify, you will get a ton of emails from people who found your website and will say, hey, I saw your website and you've got all these things wrong with it. Your listings suck. We can optimize that for you, and we can do custom SEO. You don't need that. You don't need that. If you want to pay somebody to do that, find a reputable person that you know and you trust. Don't wait for somebody to come into your DMs and say, hey, because usually they're not always scammers, but it's just not, you don't know them, you don't trust them. It doesn't make any sense, and it's annoying to keep having people cold DM you and cold calling, like telemarketers. No. So, and you'll get a bunch of phishing emails when you have a website and, or you have an online shop. So be wary of that. Be wary of opening PDFs from people you don't know. Okay. And then always take partial payment up front if you're doing a commission or you're doing a big piece, because there's definitely been times when you trust somebody to pay in full, or, you send them, you do this elaborate drawing and you're like, oh, okay, I'll make them pay halfway through or at the end, it's fine. And you send them an image of the progress that you're on and they just, and then go. You never hear from them again, and you just spent so many hours doing that, and yeah, you lost a bunch of hours, lost some money, not fun. Okay, paying for Etsy ads, don't do that. I mentioned that earlier. Or online ads in general, unless you're making a buttload of money. If you are, and you can hire somebody to do that, which we don't need to do that unless we're a corporation or, you don't need to do that, because Etsy ads and online ads are kind of like gambling. You got to know the specific things to put in, and you got to know, it'd be great to have marketing knowledge or a marketing background, but other than that, it's kind of a numbers game and blind in the dark. And you lose a bunch of money. Yeah, there was a time that I put in like $50 in Facebook ads, and it just went. They get you. They get you. Don't do that. It's fine, but don't do that. That's how we learn. Okay, making custom artwork without partial payment up front. I already mentioned that before. And then PayPal really isn't a safe option anymore for receiving as a payment method. Send invoices, ask for a Venmo or something like that, because there's some sort of scam with PayPal. And not only that, but they can get your sensitive information, and they can basically, oh yeah, I'll buy that, and they send you the money, and then they do a chargeback. Not fun. Don't recommend it. And I think the same can happen with Venmo, but usually people don't do that. So use an invoice. Commissions. Any questions so far? Feeling good? And a lot of these things I've mentioned of don't do unless you're making a ton of money. That's me just kind of saying, like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it until you absolutely, like, pop off or something, which, and also don't be discouraged if you don't pop off. That's a lot less that you have to worry about. We're here to have fun. Make a little extra money to buy supplies, but we're here to have fun. Okay, commissions. I don't really have a lot of photos for this one either. So this is going to be very brief. Create a graphic advertising the custom work that you do and post it on social media. Look up examples on Pinterest. Here's an example on Pinterest. This is not my artwork, but I saw it and I'm like, this is perfect. This looks great. And then you can also use Canva and upload some photos and say, we're talking about commissions sheets.
Okay.
And basically make a graphic of what commissions you offer and make it clean, make it simple if you're going to offer commissions.
Okay.
Make it easy to read. And like by posting images of saying, hey, I do commissions, that lets people know that you do commissions. Because not everybody puts 2 and 2 together. And that's okay. We're making it easy. When you're thinking about anything, in creating your shop, advertising your shop on social media, make it easy for your customer, as easy as possible, to hit buy. Make it easy for them to go, oh, I didn't know you had that option. All right. Okay. So, you can set up a custom commission listing on your Etsy or website or Patreon. I haven't mentioned Patreon because Patreon's a whole other beast. And we're here to sell art. Not everybody's doing commissions. Set up an email chain with your clients and put in your due dates in your calendar. Follow up with them. Always keep on top of that. You don't want to be the person who asks for half payment up front and then forget about it. And then it's like 3 months down the road and they're like, hey, where are you? Because there are already a lot of people who are very wary about giving money to artists, even half up front, 20% up front. Because a lot of people, there aren't always good artists out there. Well, faithful or nice artists. There are people out there who will scam other people under the guise of an artist. So we don't want to give anybody, we don't want them to worry. Okay. Create your invoices through Canva or through whatever invoicing platform you prefer. So Square and Found both have invoicing features, which is pretty nice. But if you don't want to use either of those softwares, you can go into Canva, which is free and easy, and you can type in your information and download it and then send it out. But you will have to make sure that you collect that payment yourself. If you send out your own invoice, sometimes you gotta hound somebody. So that's why I like invoicing software, is because it sends the invoice and then it gives payment options, and it basically makes you pay right then and now. Or, if they decide not to pay right then and now, it'll kind of keep hounding them. So that's kind of nice. Okay. Yay! Here's the commission example sheet. Not my artwork, but it's a good example. Okay, here's an example of a Canva invoice. Pretty simple. Does anybody want me to go through how to make a Canva invoice while I'm on Canva? Okay. Because I think we're almost at the end. What time is it? 11:07. Oh, wow, it's only an hour in. We're doing great. I got time then. Okay. All right. Any questions before I proceed? Any questions about commissions? All right. Marketing and advertising. This is going to be very brief because it's a slippery slope, and ultimately, don't buy ads. Don't buy Instagram ads. Don't buy Facebook ads. Don't buy Etsy ads. Pick a platform. Pick one or two platforms, preferably probably one, and think about what platform your audience will be on. So as a graphic designer, my audience was probably going to be on Pinterest or Instagram, or depending on if I'm doing educational content, it'll be YouTube. Think about you. Put yourself in your customer's shoes and say, where am I that I can find the type of person that I want to find for my service? So, and a lot of the times it's going to be either Instagram, TikTok, lesser YouTube, but I'm a weirdo, so. Okay, or Facebook. If Facebook is really great if your audience is 45 plus. So, yeah, Instagram is great for 20 to 35 to 40. So, think about your age demographic. Think about their habits. Are they somebody who might be prone to, like TikTok shop on, they just give you a buy button in it. I keep hitting that thing. They just, you have a buy button, and are they impulsive? Think about that. Think about the usability of Instagram and how you have to tell people to go to your bio and then click your bio and then go through the link tree and to find your shop and things like that, which most people are okay to do. But sometimes the older crowd don't want to do that. Or if it's a child, which you should not really be selling to children, but, hey, Mom, I want this. Okay, well, where can I find it? How can I do that? Going through a link tree might confuse the ever-loving crud out of Mom, who doesn't know what they're looking at or looking for. Okay. Post authentically. So treat your followers as your friends, because they are. As I go through my journey of being on Instagram and on YouTube and things like that, you can come in. You can come in. Yeah, come sit down. Okay. It's not about getting tons and tons of followers. It's about building relationships with the people who do follow you, or connecting with the people that you know. And so examples of things that you might post. On Instagram, every couple days I will just kind of repost silly memes that usually have to do with raccoons. And it's just kind of me staying present and staying relatable to the people that I know. And make, like I'm a goofy gal. Hey, this is me. Just kind of be authentic. And when I post things, it's usually something along the lines of, hey, here's what I'm up to, here's what I'm doing, and I found this really cool trick. And, oh, hey, I've got this workshop coming up. Do you want, and it's this and this and this and this and this. Do you want to come, come if you're able. So meet people where they're at and kind of just be friendly, be you. People want to buy you, not you, but make it authentic. Don't make it some spammy, oh, hey, I've got a sale today. Oh, hey, I've got this product and this product and this product. And you can, but sometimes people become really uninterested in that. And it's really annoying as yourself to follow a friend, and it's just that. But if you kind of say, oh, hey, here's this new thing that I made, and here's a video of me making, using it, and the use case is really cool. Of for example, recently I made, sometime earlier this year, Risograph notepads, and so I did a video of using the Risograph, and so you see the process, and then you see me writing on the notepad and ripping it off, and that really engages people on another level, and they feel very more connected with what it is that you're doing. So, yeah. Every once in a while, it's good to say, hey, by the way, I have a shop, but don't buy my stuff. Okay. Question?
I have a question.
Yes.
So I am old school,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to learn how to do the videos and
Mhm.
take the videos and combine them together and add all the fun stickers.
Mhm.
What is the best avenue to learn that kind of stuff? I don't have kids
Mhm.
to show me, so I don't know. Because I'm trying, is it TikTok? Is it easier to make the videos on TikTok? Is it better to do it through Canva?
Ultimately, it is trying out and seeing what works for you, because you can absolutely do things on TikTok, and sometimes when you upload videos to TikTok, it'll kind of automatically update, edit it a little, and then add music,
Yep.
or you add music and it'll kind of shorten it to it.
Yes.
And you can do that and then download it, and then you can repost that wherever.
Okay.
Or post it to your TikTok, but download it before you do that. Otherwise, it'll just be gone, or you've got this ugly watermark that says, TikTok. But ultimately, it's just messing around. TikTok is a good option. If you're familiar with Instagram Reels, you can also download after you've made your video. CapCut is also a good option, but I would probably look into applications that have templates.
Okay.
'Cause that's Think about what is easy for you. You're going to be more likely to continue with something if it's easier for you. So there are some applications that already have templates. Or, if you're on TikTok and you see a trend, sometimes there are templates under there of a trend, and all you have to do is just upload a couple videos, and it'll automatically put it in there.
And that's how you do that, because I haven't got to that part yet.
Mhm.
If I say I have 4 or 5 videos, short videos of how I'm making a candle in the process, then I can go to TikTok and actually go, oh, I want this video, and then it'll kind of combine it together.
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely. So you don't have to, pull up a template and then video on the spot. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Record. There's a lot of really good benefits to recording beforehand, and
And
record
then
on your
editing.
phone.
Yes,
Mhm.
and then editing. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, putting it together.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you've got this library, and every month or so, you can recycle your videos. So you don't have to do as much. You can kind of either repost your video, or you can use old footage and like combine it with new footage. So if you made holiday footage last year, reuse it with a different sound. So try to go the easiest route for you.
Okay, which would be this,
Mhm.
or actually doing it and then adding it to TikTok and then
Mhm.
putting it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely templates will be your friend, so you don't have to do as much. Videos, template, post.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yay. Okay. Any other? Yes.
So I know you're a printmaker, so you probably like do most of your stuff in-house, but like as someone who's interested in making prints of stuff and doesn't really have like materials for it, any advice about like outsourcing printing?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is a problem I'm running into, because a lot of printmaking is at like facilities. Like the huge equipment is at a different facility, and I graduated from the program recently at the University of Arkansas, and I don't have access to that anymore. It's gone. It's out. So a lot of things I have to figure out how to do at home. So go on Reddit and ask other people, or go through the forums and see what other people, who they use for their manufacturer. Figure out what budget works for you, and don't try to order like 50 some odd prints. I've done that, and they haven't sold, and I just have a bunch of prints. But yes, I know that's not incredibly helpful, but find a manufacturer that works for you. Find somebody local too, if you can afford it. That way you've got a relationship with somebody nearby, and then maybe you can get some favors or last minute, hey, I need this. There's a maker studio that just opened. I know they do like large scannings, and then they do, I think they can print on canvas and then stretch it to make reproductions. They may or may not be able to make copies and prints. They can make a copy for sure. I don't know if they can make prints, but it's a good place to start. And
And
then-
it's M-A-K-R, it's a different spelling, right? And
Yes.
it's orange.
Yes, absolutely. And then I know that there's a sticker company nearby, Ozark Sticker Company. Definitely recommend trying them out, or go to Sticker App. That's usually who I use, but I just found out about Ozark Sticker. Support local if you can, and some good things can happen if you get to know them. And sometimes if they know you, they'll promote your work if you're local. So, and then there's a couple of printing companies nearby. I currently work at Fast Signs, and I do know that they can print canvas. So, and also banners. And, look through their website, see what they have. There's a risograph press in St. Louis, and her name is Melon Press. So if you're ever looking to have risograph reproductions, she's brand new. Pretty sure she's pretty cool. I love risographs. They're so cool. Okay, that's
And
me.
where did you say you worked to do banners?
Fast Signs.
Fast Signs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but you can go to any other sign shop and get banners made, or you can go online. Probably go online, because sometimes, depending on the banner, they go ahead and outsource it anyways.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but there are some banners that we do print in-house. But
I'm always trying to support local, but if y'all outsource it, it's probably cheaper for me to do the same.
exactly.
Thank you for
Exactly.
being honest.
Yes. Yes. A lot of places will just go ahead and outsource like business cards or something like that. There is a local business card printer. But I also recommend, if you have a printer at home, just print your business cards and cut them out.
What printer do you recommend? Because that's another
Mhm.
thing. I'm making labels for
Mhm.
candles, for all kinds of stuff, shipping. What do you recommend? Because I've gone through 3 printers and I've taken 2 of them back.
Jeez.
I did not like them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know that the, what is it? Epson EcoTank is a popular option. And then
100, I did that.
You did that?
The grain was
Ew.
And my 10-euro desk jet printer,
Jeez.
much lighter. I mean, it was crazy to where I was like, I'm not spending $300 on sale for this printer. And it didn't work. And then I got a different HP printer, same deal, it was the ink and not the cartridges. And it was not printing it, and so I went back and bought a desk jet printer for like $80, and it prints better than the other two.
Perfect.
But it doesn't print like poster size or certain things, so is Brother a good printing?
They might be. I don't have any experience with Brother, but I do have a Canon Pixma IP700. It's kind of older, and it does poster size. And that's what I use. And I'm very picky about like PMS colors, which are specific spot colors, and it'll do spot colors.
And Canon's a great brand too.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it was a Canon what?
Pixma. Yep. I believe their Pixma line is usually for artists or for photography printing. My boyfriend used my printer to print all of his photography photos for his couple classes, and they worked really great. So, yeah, there's that, and then it's several years old, so you might be able to get one cheaper.
Okay.
It's probably an older model at this point, but
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I went through 3 printers and the cheapest one, DeskJet, was the best one.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And if you're going to make art prints, I definitely recommend looking into printers that print UV ink or like UV resistant ink.
Okay.
Mine does not, unless I probably want to take it apart and try and do that myself. Because I have noticed that if I put the photos in the light, it'll fade. Thankfully, I don't use those for art prints. So, because I'm crazy and I carve everything.
Are you linoleum block? What do you usually?
Yeah, linoleum. Yeah, I recently printed like, I think 30-inch by 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 2 colors, so it was like 30 hours of printing per color. Or no, it was 15 hours of printing per color.
So then
I'm crazy.
do you go to a large studio then for a larger moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My last semester at the university, I used the ever-living credit out of that studio for it was gone. So that's why I made a huge one. But I think the CCC, they have a large press as well. I don't think it's quite as large as the one at the university, but
They
it's
have
pretty big.
kind of a seat membership fee, right?
Yeah. But I have been able to talk to them, and you can ask for a daily rate, because most printmaking you're only going to do in 1 or 2 days per month. So you can do a daily rate. But if you're printing, and this is like hand carved printing, not inkjet printing, you can get a membership, and I think it's $125 a month. And if you're going religiously, that's a great price. Yay. Okay. Yay. Did I answer your questions?
Great job. Do you have an Instagram account like we can follow you on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I told you we still got time, so I can open up Canva while I'm in it. I don't think it'll log into Instagram. This isn't my... Oh, I am logged in on Google. Okay, never mind. I don't think it'll... No.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. It's just my last name
Oh, okay.
on Instagram. Okay. Okay, so anyways, yeah, you can also find the Instagram link on my website, if it'll load. Oh, I believe at the bottom. Oh, okay. It used to be there. Anyways, it's just my last name.
Oh,
So, yep. And it is Underfanger, UNDERFANGER. So, Yeah, vampire last name. Okay, we're gonna go through Canva. Okay.
I do have one question. Do you find that you have an issue with like, people going from your Instagram to your website just because like you're using your last name on one and your, business name on the other? Because I feel like my Instagram and TikTok username is different than the one I'm using, and I don't know if that will cause any friction, like
Mm.
when people are going from one to the other.
I think it does.
Okay.
I think it does.
Having consistency might be better. Okay.
Yeah, consistency is best. And like me, I'm in a phase in my life where I'm shifting more towards my last name, or like my name instead of my business name. And I'm kind of putting that in the shadow and just keep the business to like collect every weird avenue that I have of income to keep it all in one place, but I present as me because I'm doing more like in-person things. And also I have a cool last name, and my business name is a mouthful, so if that makes sense. But yes, keep it, if you can, keep it all the same so that it's easier to find. Because people might, if they don't know you and they try to go to your website, they might go, whoa, this isn't it. This is redirected me somewhere else. So don't make my mistakes. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If I can remember how to get back to Canva. Canva is a great tool for creating Instagram posts and things like that, and listings and presentations. Although I am...
That by, like, is there social media, or would you do it under video or presentation?
There's templates for just, you can do social media templates and,
Instagram, Facebook, okay.
yeah. Oops, come on. And then there are people who have already made posts that you can just go ahead and edit the text. So like, book your appointment. I can go in and say, book a workshop. And post that if you want. So keep it easy, keep it simple. See, I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I don't even create things from scratch because it's a lot more work. And if I just want to post something quickly, I don't, that could be 2 hours that I could spend making something from scratch, rather than going on Canva and then maybe changing out the images for, picture of my face or something. Oh, okay. Let's see. I can change the image. I think. There we go. I can change the image and make it huge. Do something like that. So it looks like I'm threatening you. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, you can do your posts on here. There is a video editing feature on Canva. I haven't tried that, but it should be fairly easy and usable. And it's also free. Canva's free. Okay. Do I have any actual invoices? Sometimes I put my invoices in here because I'm lazy. Here's an invoice that I took a screenshot of that somebody else made. I recently showed a student how to make an invoice. So you can just go in and double click and say, oh, okay, you commissioned me a 5-foot canvas, okay. You bought the materials, and that's a 5-foot canvas, and then paint fees, because paint's expensive, and you could say unit price of, $30 a piece. These are not real prices. And then calculate whatever that is. I think it's 60. Yeah. And then, let's say they did revisions, and they did one round of revisions, and that's like 50 an hour, so that's 50. So, put in your itemized expenses for the commission that you did. Definitely give them a quote up front so they're not sideswiped when you send them the invoice. And then bill to FPL, and write the person's name. If it's a company, put their address, or you don't have to put their address if they're a person and they don't want to give you their address, it's fine. But if it's a business, put their address, change the invoice number and the date, and then, put your payment options here. You don't have to put your bank account number because that's kind of weird in my opinion. Put your name, and the layout of these will be different depending on whatever invoice that you find. Thank you, and then say half is required up front. A half deposit is required up front. And then make sure you put a due date somewhere. Yeah, and then save it as a PDF, send it as a PDF, and then save that to a folder in your computer labeled invoices so you have that in the future. Doable? All right. Cool. Okay, anything else? You want me to go through any other questions? All right. I guess.
We good?
I think we're done.
I
All
have
right.
a few things to share with y'all before you head out, so give me just a minute.
Yeah.
I heard you mention that we have resources here, so.
Yes, oh yeah, we do.
So thank you so much for a wonderful program. I was listening online for the first half. And thank you all for joining us here today. As a quick reminder before you leave, please fill out a program evaluation. It just helps us develop more programs like this. And before you go, I heard Grace mention that we have some resources here in the library for small businesses, and I did want to let you know about some upcoming ones. So on Tuesday, July 15th at 6 p.m., we're going to have a program called Unlocking Venture Capital Funding Strategies for Startups. Some of these are more conducive to small business or nonprofit, but take what suits you, leave what doesn't. We also have something called the Entrepreneurial Law Project that happens once a month, every month. And this upcoming one will be Friday, July 25th from 12 to 3 p.m. And these are free 30-minute consultations for entrepreneurs. So actual lawyers will be here. They'll do a free 30-minute consultation with you. You do have to register ahead of time for that one. And then on our website, if you haven't checked it out yet, we have a nonprofit and small business resource page. This is a mix of things for nonprofits and small businesses, but it includes grant searching websites, ways to book a session here with a librarian to learn more about some of these resources and stuff like that. And then on Thursday, August 14th at 5:30 p.m., we will have a program called Build Your Own Brand Using Canva Visual. So if you're not very familiar with Canva, if you've enjoyed what you learned here today, that's a good follow-up to that program. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you, Grace, for joining us. It was an excellent program.
Thank you.